So in addition to the items included in your FoilMount 3.0 carbon kit, you'll also need a measuring device like a tape measure, the Scotchbrite tape to mark, and then optionally the 3M Primer 94. Okay, first step is to measure. Make sure you're measuring from the outside of the board in. Sometimes fin inserts are not exactly centered or not exactly symmetrical on many custom boards. Use the Scotch tape to mark the outside for easy alignment once the backing is pulled on the mount. Next, you're going to use the Scotchbrite pad to roughen up the surface. You can see I'm using small circles. You know, small circles go all around. You don't have to get crazy. You're just roughing it up so the adhesive has more area to adhere to. When you're done, there's a bit of dust from the Scotchbrite. You can either use a damp paper towel or just the included alcohol wipes to wipe the dust off. You want to make sure and do a very good job with the alcohol pads to get every square inch of area alcohol to make sure there's no oil or grease on that surface. Use both pads. So you can see I'm taking my time. Small circles are the best. Use both of them, get the whole area. It's also very important to wait till the alcohol dries. If it's humid out, it may take a while. Like in direct sunlight, it seems like it dries instantly. Just make sure that it's absolutely dry. So this step is optional. This is the 3M primer. There's a black dot on the side of the primer. You actually squeeze that to break the internal glass case and mix the chemicals. You can see the chemicals run to the felt tip, like you can visually see it once it gets wet on there. When it's wet, you can start rubbing it on the whole area that the foil mount will stick on. It seems like you'd need more than one, but one stick actually works perfectly for one foil mount installation. So get the whole area, use all of the primer, get the whole area covered with the stuff. It's just a thin, thin coating. And then you're gonna wanna make sure and wait for that to dry, just like the alcohol pad. You're gonna wanna wait, 4, 5, 10 minutes, depending on the humidity, for that to dry. Okay, once your primer's dry and your alcohol's dry, you're going to peel the backing on the foil mount. Make double sure that everything's ready to go. Once you kind of peel, you're committed to stick. So the new FoilMount 3.0 has air bubble gaps in the adhesive to make it less likely to get bubbles upon installation, which means you kind of have to peel 4 different areas. Sometimes it's hard to peel the edge. So what I like to do is I use either a razor blade or a knife to kind of peel up the edge before I'm ready to install it. So you could kind of see me with an X-Acto knife peel the edge there to get it started. And then once you have it started, it'll peel right off, no problem. Make sure to keep this adhesive clean, right? The best way to install is to take that edge I just pointed to and stick it down first, leaving a gap on the other side to let the air bubbles escape. So I'm going to take my time, line up that edge exactly right, and then you can kind of shimmy it side to side on that edge. But once it sticks down, it's stuck. See, if you accidentally stick an edge like I did there, you can kind of pull it back up quick and then, stick that edge and then just work your way down forward to aft. My forefinger on my right hand is keeping a gap between the foil mount on the rear side and the board. And I'm just working my way from the front to the back toward that finger that's keeping a gap to work all those bubbles out. And the bubble gaps are going to help. So there hopefully won't be any bubbles trapped. All right, once it's all the way down, you can kind of put some pressure on it with your hands and then use the tips of your toes to put as much pressure as possible on there. Make sure the surfboard is secured and you're not going to break the surfboard nose or something by standing on it. Make sure it's on some sawhorses or here on some grass, something with a bit of give. It's very important to apply a bunch of pressure to this area. You don't have to clamp it. You just have to push down hard so the adhesive gets good solid contact with all of the area on that board. So that's about it. Remove the Scotch tape and you're good to go. You're going to want to wait 12 to 24 hours to let that adhesive cure. and get 100% bond. If it's colder, you're going to need longer on that curing, so it's best to install in more than room temperature, so 72 degrees Fahrenheit or higher. See, we're putting in the Wizard Hat hardware, slides right in. You can fit that with any base plate, and you'll be all set. If you guys need help with the installation or anything else hydrofoil related, you can call us 866-FOIL-NOW or email sales@foilmount.com.